One of the most interesting things that occurred on the task force was that as we came together, we began to discuss not simply whether or not to remove the Wendels, but what the Wendels stood for and what the Wendels symbolized, what the Confederate flag symbolized. And we engaged in vigorous, amicable, but very vigorous and rigorous discussion about issues of race in this country and about slavery and the legacy of slavery. And as we engaged that discussion, one thing that became very clear was that the Wendels were the catalyst for that discussion, and that we were having discussions that we otherwise probably would not be having in this cathedral, but for the Wendels. One of the things that we have to understand, of course, is that the Confederate flag is more than just a flag, it's a symbol. And symbols take on new meanings. And whatever the meaning of the flag was in terms of its historical meaning, it has come to symbolize a culture of hatred, a culture of white supremacy, and values that the cathedral simply does not stand for. And so we thought, almost serendipitously as it happened, you know, maybe we should not remove these Wendels right away, but recognize the catalyst that they have provided in the Wendel, pun intended, the Wendel of opportunity that they've provided to really dig deep into the uncomfortable history of this nation, of the church, and indeed perhaps in the complex history of the cathedral, and to begin to tell stories that have not been told, and the untold stories not only of Lee and Jackson, but the stories of the people who were oppressed by the institution of slavery that they sought to preserve. And those stories have too long been ignored. And so that's why we decided to indeed keep the Wendels for now as the first step in a process of writing a new narrative. I've said over and over again, and I believe that the Wendels called the question of race for us. We could have turned away from that question, or we could lean into it. And we've decided as a cathedral, as a task force, to lean into it.